Good morning, everybody. We are on week 34, day 1. And today is due now. Make sure you take out error and peer review and check in with your teammates as well as the answer key. If you haven't noticed, I've been asking you to keep all your work because everything builds on each other. We started first with 2D, and today we're going to embark on doing 3-dimensional shapes. And it's based off of what we learned in 2D. So I want you to keep holding on to all your work because everything's related. You also want to make sure you take out your computer as we will be doing a Kahoot later today. Objectives. I can find the surface area of cubes, rectangular prisms, and triangular prisms. So we're doing 3D moving forward. We've already finished halfway through the unit and there's halfway left. Language objective. I can draw all the faces and write the calculations for 3D shapes. So I'll show you what that looks like through some notes. So you'll need your math notebook. And then social objective, I can collaborate with my peers on some problems while completing others on my own. So very similar to the past where there's a problem where you can collaborate together, but there's also another problem where you need to prove to me that you can do it on your own. That really shows if you understand the concepts. As for today's agenda, we'll do homework review followed by Kahoot, notes, worksheet, additional support tools, and planner. As always, please make sure you revise your work accordingly when we go over problems in class and assign yourself a grade and be ready to show it 2 Fridays from now. Okay, every Friday. Go ahead and log on to Kahoot. Okay, so whenever we're doing 3-dimensional shapes, the big difference between 3-dimensional shapes versus 2-dimensional shapes is that there's a lot more areas involved. Okay, so if we're taking a look at this tissue box, it is a perfect example of a rectangular prism. You can see that it's a rectangle, has rectangles everywhere, right? And when we want to label this, we want to label all the sides and give it names, okay? So we think of this tissue box having a front right here, a back, which exactly is the same thing, the front and back. Then there's a left and a right, and then there's a bottom and a top. Okay, so there are a total of, how many faces do we have here? 6 in all. 6 in all. Okay, so I'm going to write this, my first diagram. I'm going to write this as the front and back. Okay, front and back. And for this rectangular prism, our front is 4 inches. And our back, sorry, that's the height, and then the base is 6 inches. So for the front and back, we do 4 times 6. And that's going to give us 24 inches squared. Okay. So the area for the front is 24 inches squared, and the area for the back is also 24 inches squared. Now we need to do the left and right. So I'm just going to draw another rectangle. These rectangles now are a little longer. So right here, right? Left and right. Let me just cut it close so you can see. Okay, so the height is still 4, but this time the base is 13. So we have 4 inches. Oops, let me rewrite that. This is going to be the left and the right. So we have 4 inches as our height and 13 inches as our base. 4 inches and 13 inches. So we multiply that, 4 times 13. And that gives us 52 inches squared. So we have the front, the back, left, and right. Now we just need the bottom and the top. So I'm going to make that in green. Bottom, top. So the bottom, the base is going to be 6 inches. And the height is going to be 13 inches. Oops. So 6 times 13 is going to give us 78 inches squared. Okay. Now to find the total surface area, we need to add the front, the back, the left, the right, and the bottom and the top. So the front and back have the same measurement, so I'm going to do 2 times 24. 2 times 24, because that's the front and back. And then we're going to do 2 times 52, because that's the left and the right. And then we're going to do 2 times 78, because that's the bottom and the top. And we add all that up. So if I shorthand this, simplify this, I have 48. 2 times 24 is 48. 2 times 52 is 104. And 2 times 78 is 156. If you add that up, 104 plus 48 is 152. 152 plus 156 is 308 inches squared. That's our surface area. Okay, so this is a triangular prism. It's very similar to the rectangular prism, but there are not 6 faces. How many faces do you see? How many faces do you guys think? 5, yeah, there's 5 faces. There's a front triangle and there's a back triangle. There's a left rectangle and a right rectangle, and then there's a bottom rectangle also. So there's 5 different faces. So let's start off with the front and back. So I'm gonna draw the triangle. I know it's 8 inches is our height, so that's the number we care about. And we also care about the base, which is 12 inches. We do not need the 10 inches. Always focus on base and height. And if you're not sure where the base and height are, look for where the right angle is. It tells you where the base and height are, where it forms a 90-degree angle. So to find the area of a triangle, it's its base times height divided by 2. So 12 times 8 divided by 2. And that gives us 48 inches squared. So that's the area of the front and back each. Now to find the rectangles, if you look at the left, the right, and the, I'll make sure, no, they have different, the left and right is different from the bottom. So we'll use this in blue. Let's put it right here. So left and right rectangles. We have our base is 14 and our height is 10. Actually, we'll redraw this rectangle. Base is 14 inches and our height is 10 inches. So 10 times 14 is going to give us 140 inches squared. And lastly, we have our bottom. I'll mark that in green. The bottom's base is 12 and the height is 14. So bottom, let's grab it over here. Yeah, bottom. The base is 12 and the height is 14. 12 inches, 14 inches. 12 times 14, 12 times 12 is 144, plus another 24 is 168 inches squared. So now we just need to add all the surface areas together to find the total surface area of this triangular prism. So surface area is equal to the front and back. So that's two different, two of the same sides. So I'll just do 2 times 48. That's for the front and back. And then for the left and right rectangles, we have 140 inches. So that's times 2 again. 2 times 140 inches. And then we only have one bottom. There's no top. And so that's 168 inches squared. We add all three up. 2 times 48 is 96. 96, 2 times 140 is 280. And then add 168. That will give us 264, 400, 546 inches squared. 300, 44, yes, you're right, 544. Over 64. So that's how you find the area, the surface area of a rectangular prism as well as a triangular prism. For today's worksheet, as a reminder, you can collaborate on problem A with your teammates. However, for problem B, please do it independently to see if you truly understand the concepts. As for the worksheet, here are the instructions. Find the surface area of each 3D shape. Draw, label, and calculate each of the faces. So remember to draw the front, back, left, right, bottom, top for each of these faces. Show your calculations, and then write your surface area right there. And you can see checkpoints for the cube, for the rectangular prism, and for the triangular prism. If you need additional supports, I've linked video tutorials for each of these topics that you can watch for Math with Mr. J, and then iExcels that relate to those specific 3D prisms to give you some more practice. Last but not least, in your planner, please make sure you write down surface area number 1. And for extra credit, iExcel, pick between surface area of cubes and rectangular prisms or surface area of triangular prisms. Remember, the more practice you get, the better you become. Make sure you reach a score of 90 and submit a full screenshot.